ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Tuesday, January 6th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Glad to be with you. Our text line is open this hour. It's brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. We do that at 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. You can also find me on X at Paul Swann. Looking forward to hearing from you this hour. We've got Ryan Crisp coming up in the next few minutes. Usually we do this on Wednesday when we speak to Ryan. Ryan is the Associate Athletics Director for Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. But we've got a big matchup coming up tomorrow at the Cam Henderson Center, and Ryan's going to tell us a little bit more about that as Marshall will take on Old Dominion. This is a big matchup. Marshall is 13-3, 4-0 in league play. Old Dominion's 10-5, 2-1 in league play, so it should be a fun matchup. If you haven't been out to see the women just yet, great opportunity. Ryan's going to tell us more about the matchup. Basically, Ryan's going to tell us how fun it's going to be to go to the game tomorrow, what you can expect, what you can take advantage of. So Ryan's going to join us. You can ask questions of Ryan. He always answers those. And again, get those in now. 304-396-TALK is that number. 304-396-8255. That's our text line to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 or AM 930. Or you can at me. Usually they say don't at me. You can at me at Paul Swann on X. So did everybody watch the national championship game last night? You got treated to an overtime showcase of what makes that series so special. Of course, we go back to our days and then 1AA with the Marshall Thundering Herd winning the game. It was Jim Nantz making the call, 1992. Watch the Thundering Herd win that championship game, and let me tell you, that memory still sticks with me to this day. 96 was fun as well. That was just basically a pro team out there, or that was a major college football team in 96. But that 92 team, that was pretty special for me. So fun matchup last night. Congratulations to Montana State getting the victory over Illinois State, and hopefully we can see something like that in the future for college football. I would love to see that. It's not going to happen, but what could happen if you just seed all the teams? All the conferences get in a bid. There's not a set seed. Like, you don't get, all right, we're conference champions, so we get an automatic qualifying bid and we get a bye. No, you get in, but you get ranked based on where you're at. That's the only thing I would say that would be fair. Go all the way. It doesn't seem to impact those kids and their learning at that level. The transfer portal seems to have negated that because kids are in and out as much as possible anyway. So why not? Let's do that. I don't know if it's going to happen. You got too many of the old guard, the bowl system. You've got to keep that intact. And yeah, I get it. The Rose Bowl, granddaddy of them all, the Sugar Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, Pop-Tarts Bowl. I do like the Pop-Tarts Bowl. But the bowl system is broken. It's been broken for a long time because of the need to have more bowls. And if you want to crown a national champion, let's go all in. Let's have a tournament. Let's go. 24 teams. Let's do it. All the conference champions get in. Then you play till you get a champion. I think it would be a huge revenue maker, but you got to get past the old guard first, and I just don't see that happening. And, of course, with the transfer portal, you'd have to set different dates for that, trying to negate the damage the transfer portal is going to do. Speaking of the transfer portal, we've been keeping an eye on this stuff, and, of course, until Marshall says it's official, you got to rely on social media and other reporting. And so Iowa State transfer, Bernard Carter, he's a defensive lineman, has committed to the Herd. You also have a punter, Cooper Heimbrich, Wheelersburg High School, Heimbrach. Cooper Heimbach, Wheelersburg High, punter, committing with the Herd. So, again, we got to go based on social media and what's happening there. We'll get the official list when we get the official list, but there are additions to the Herd coming in. And, of course, there are players that are going out as we speak, so we keep an eye on social media. I mentioned that only because 6 players from the college sports communicators academic all district selection named. Justin Williams Thomas is one of those from Marshall. He's in the portal. So you have several players making that list, and how many of them are going to be sticking around. So you see awards, you see honors, you see players get recognized. Cam Smith is heading to the Hula Bowl. And, of course, the transfer portal. It's hard to root for guys because they're with you one minute, they're out the next. College football used to be different because it was about the relationships you made with these kids. But the balance was these kids were locked in sometimes in situations that weren't the best for those players. And, of course, the revenue that's being generated based off of these college football games has exploded. Now, again, that's going to be top-heavy. Revenue is not being generated at that clip at Marshall University or any other Sun Belt school. But the television money's coming in has really destabilized college football in my mind, and I miss the BCS. You want the best teams? I kind of miss the BCS. Let's turn our attention to basketball. We're going to switch gears. Ryan Crisp is going to join us here in the next few minutes, and we'll talk to him. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 is going to be our text line. Ryan's the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. He'll get us caught up on what's happening. We got a big one tomorrow. The Herd, trying to remain undefeated in women's basketball, will take on a very game Old Dominion team. And that's going to be at the Cam Henderson Center, 6 o'clock tip tomorrow. Ryan's going to tell us more about it on this edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Baker's Waterproofing and Basement Authority of West Virginia are now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm.
In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. And in Wayne, Vicky Tabor, 304-272-5149.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
No matter where you are in life, Mount West Community and Technical College isn't just about an education. It's a step toward your future. We provide the hands-on support you need with classes that fit your life. At Mount West, we know you by name because here, you're more than just a number. Mount West Community and Technical College, because you matter here. Visit mctc.edu to apply today.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Our text line is open at 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. You can also find me on X at Paul Swann. I want to welcome to the program now our next guest, a fan favorite. He is the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement. He is the one and only Ryan Crisp. And good to see you again. It was fun the other night, Marshall men's basketball game, so hopefully we're going to have that kind of atmosphere as well for tomorrow's game for the women against Old Dominion.
Yeah, no, the atmosphere in the camp has been great. I appreciate all the Herd fans coming out, and and giving the team energy. And when other fans give energy, then other fans get involved, and they want to be a part of it. And so it's definitely an exciting time for Marshall basketball as a whole. Our students come back to town, not for this week's games, but for next week they'll be here, and that's always a good point in the season where they come and they show out, and finals are behind them, all the breaks are behind them, and they're much more into it. And so we're excited for that momentum to continue, not only for the men's program but also for the women's program, who is they're playing pretty well right now, Paul.
They're not
playing
terrible.
pretty well. So yeah, and so we're excited to welcome them back to the Henderson Center and catch them at home a couple times this week.
13-3, 4-0 in league play, taking on a very good Old Dominion team that's 10-5, 2-1 in league action. So that's going to be a 6:00 tip tomorrow at the Cam Henderson Center. As we alluded to, things have been heating up inside the gymnasium. I have to give it to you. I have to pay more attention now to the scoreboard because I never know what you're going to throw up. I don't know if it's you, your staff, a combination. I never know what's going to be thrown up there next. The 6-7 cam, the dance cam has become a thing all to itself. I never know what's coming up there next because there's always something that seems like, okay, that's different. You got to pay attention to that thing a little bit more now.
Yeah, we're always trying to innovate and making sure that our games are fun for everyone, and we're adapting to whatever the fans are doing. And so, yes, obviously the 6-7 meme or deal, whatever it is, I don't even fully understand it, is a big thing right now, especially in the youth community. And so we adapted that into the game day. And so anytime that there's 6-7 on the scoreboard, we do the 6-7 cam. And our fans absolutely love it, right? Especially our younger fan base. They absolutely love it. It keeps the kids entertained. It keeps them looking forward to something. And so it's a great thing. This past game, we launched the Dr. Bill High Five Cam, which if anyone knows Dr. Bill Ratcliffe, and you watch him during the game, he gives, no lie, probably close to 200 high fives per game. And so it's something that we wanted to do for a while, and we finally built it over the break where we were able to get it in. And it was an absolute hit. Obviously, he loved it. His supporters loved it. The people around him loved it. But then so many other fans commented on it and said how funny and great it was to have that. So, yeah, we're always looking to improve and to make things a little better and to keep the fans entertained, during the game, but then also especially during the timeouts and when basketball is not happening on the court. Making sure we're keeping our fans entertained at a high level and getting them invested into what we're doing.
Now, will there be a Dr. Bill tracker as well to actually keep track of those hundreds and hundreds of high fives?
I don't have a counter on them yet, but that might not be a terrible idea to have someone there with like a pitch counter from baseball and track the high fives, see how many fives he's dishing out. I think what we did on Saturday was really, really cool. People loved it, and it was awesome. We actually, full transparency, didn't count the number of high fives. We just kept upping it every time we were able to cut to him on the fan cam with the number of high fives. But I think it creates a fun little deal, right? Where maybe if you're sitting 6 rows above, Dr. Bill, or you got a little one at the game, and they run up to Dr. Bill and they give him a high five because they know that's what he does. That's his thing. That's how he enjoys life to the fullest, maybe more than anyone in this world. And so using his enthusiasm and his love for the herd to our advantage is something that we're more than willing to take advantage of and see how far this thing spreads.
I've noticed those are part of the rules as well. You come into the Cam Henderson Center, and there's a set of rules, and one of them includes high-fiving.
That's correct. It is one of those deals where a high five is, right, it's the national symbol for, good job or whatever it is, however you view a high five. But it's a great thing. It's a great energy piece for us. And so we love a good high five.
Now, there'll be different cams, though, of course, at the women's game because they deserve their own kind of unique gimmick experience. So what do we got in store for everyone that shows up tomorrow to see this undefeated in Sunbelt play Thundering Herd team that's only lost 3? And that's Indiana, that's UK, and that other one I'm going to just pretend didn't happen.
Yeah, no, I think I think our game experience you will find is pretty similar. And so anytime you come to the Cam, it's super high energy. I think the main differences between the women's game and the men's game is one, value, right? You can get into our women's game for $8 a ticket for an adult ticket. We have youth pricing, we have group pricing within the women's game, and so you're able to get a ticket at a much lower cost, and one-of-a-kind experience overall, which is great. The one thing that we do at women's games that we don't do at men's games that's super unique, we might be the only school in the country that does this, and something that our fans that are at the games absolutely love, is we do Hurdoki, is what it's called. And so every game, fans are able to vote on a song that is going to be sang by the women's basketball team during one of the timeouts. And it's karaoke style, right? So Peyton Illerton was kind of the main first person that we started this with, because she has a beautiful singing voice. She kind of doesn't really showcase it very much, but she has a really, really nice singing voice. And so the first game, we filmed her by herself, and then all of a sudden a couple more teammates came along, then a couple more. And then the past one, we had the whole team that was a part of it. And so, every week it's something different. It's not live. It's recorded. It's on the video board. We do it ahead of time. But every week we go in and we film 6 songs with them, right, because there's 2 games per week. And there's 3 choices per game. And whatever the fans vote as the song they want to hear sang by the women's basketball team is what we play on the video board. And so it's a super cool promotion. It really opens up our women's basketball players to their talents off the court. And it's one of those deals, like I said, that our fans just absolutely love. And every time it's done, the applause is louder for that maybe than at any moment during the game. And so super cool deal that if you haven't been to a women's game yet, obviously just with the way they're playing and their record, I suggest coming out, and that's one of those deals that's super cool that you'll get to experience.
Who has the ultimate say on which songs? Does Peyton have sort of the final vote on that? How's that put together? Because there's some songs I need to reject from your playlist. I'm just going to be upfront with you, Ryan. There's some songs.
Yeah, Lauren Bentley, one of my people in the marketing staff, she coordinates with women's basketball. She works with Coach Folks, Coach Bree Ellis, and the team, whoever's singing that week, to get the songs that make the most sense for them. And so they all work together to determine, what songs are going to be showcased.
Speaking of Peyton, I think this is a good transition into some things that are happening for her. There's a nice feature on herzone.com right now that just went up a few days ago about her. And, of course, she's been a major focal point of this women's team as of late. Just how spectacular of a young lady is she, not only off the court, but obviously as a major part of the success the Herd's having this year.
Yeah, no, for sure. Peyton is quite the student athlete, an amazing individual, obviously a West Virginia native. Earlier this year she got the Kay Yow Recipient Award, which we've already showcased once on social media and through a website story, and as well as the piece you're talking about. But it'll be showcased again for the Play for Kay game that's coming up for them in early February. And so, Inside the Herd is what the segment's called. And, our goal is to do one a month, which I think is very attainable for us. Ideally, long term, we want to do more. And the reason for that is it's your way to learn about the student athlete beyond what they do on the court, and really understand that there's a lot more to them than their abilities, shooting the basketball or catching the football or hitting the golf ball or diving in the pool, whatever it may be. Their abilities and what they do in life is much more than what you see. Peyton was a great one. I love the one with Madison Towns, our women's soccer player that we did earlier this year. She's in the Bill No Aviation Flight School, and she's going to be an airline pilot. And she, is a full-time student. She's a student athlete that obviously we all know their schedules are hectic and crazy. And she has to drive to Charleston to get her schooling done at the flight school and to get her flight hours in. And there's times where she, drives to morning lift and gets a lift in, and she drives to Charleston to get a 45-minute, hour and a half, 2-hour, whatever it is, flight in for her training hours, and she drives back for afternoon practice. So just some amazing student athletes we have within our program, and Inside the Herd is a great new addition we've added here recently to showcase our student athletes in all their ways.
Ryan Crisp is with us. We've trimmed your title a little bit. We've finally condensed it, and it is the Associate Athletics Director, Ticket Sales and Fan Engagement, because you had the longest title of anyone at Marshall University. I would put that up against any other title. You had the longest.
I did. I'm glad we got rid of a couple. I think 3 words came out. So we've made progress here.
We've made progress. Of course, only thing that left your plate are the words, not the jobs, the words.
That's right.
Ryan Crispus with us. We've got Marshall basketball this week at the Cam Henderson Center. I know you've got to be a little bit excited because we finally got the opponents for the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. Now, for the women, going to be on the road at Central Michigan, but for the men coming up on February 7th, it's going to be Marshall versus a longtime foe out of the Mid-American Conference. The always dreaded but fun and entertaining Miami Redhawks will be coming in to Huntington. Of course, that's already in your season ticket package if you've already got season tickets, right? And individual tickets are on sale, I'm assuming now or soon.
Yeah, no, it is in the season ticket package. So if you have season tickets, you're good to go. That game is for sale within our system, so you are able to purchase tickets to that. The only thing I will mention is if you purchase the Sun Belt season ticket, which just included conference games, even though it's in the middle of the conference slate, that game is not included since it's not a conference game. So if you purchase the Sun Belt season ticket package, make sure you hop on and grab a ticket for that game specifically. But, we were hoping for that poll. We were asking for that poll. We wanted them. And so we're excited to welcome them to the Henderson Center. Obviously, they're having an incredible start to their year. And so not only did we not want that from a matchup standpoint and from a basketball standpoint, but from my job and what we do, we knew it was going to be a great environment, whether they're still undefeated, whether they're ranked, or whatever it may be at that point when it comes on February 7th. We're excited to welcome them in the Henderson Center. And, no matter what, it's going to be a great game, but there's a chance that it could be an undefeated ranked opponent coming into the Henderson Center. And that would be the first time in a long time that it's happened. And so let's hope that we can keep, our team on track and collide with them in early February there and see what happens.
Should be a fun game. I'm looking forward to that game. That really is a matchup that I enjoyed when Marshall was in the Mid-American Conference, to watch Marshall take on Miami. Maybe the youngsters don't remember Charlie Cole being the head coach. He would give some of the best post-game press conferences. Love Marshall, him, and Greg White. Those were some fun battles. So I'm excited for that matchup. Just as an aside, that Sun Belt only package, I'm assuming that's still available if someone wants to just jump on board and get the rest of those games. How's that work?
It is. You do have to call us to do that at 800 The Herd. Unfortunately, it's not available online, just the way the ticket process works. But it is available if you give us a call, online or or on the phone at 800 The Herd. And we can do that for you. We're getting to a point close now where it just makes more sense to buy individual tickets to the rest of the games kind of thing. But I think we got to get through one more game before the value isn't there anymore. And so, yeah, if you're looking for tickets for the rest of the year, give us a call, hop online, whatever it is, and we can make that happen.
Anything exciting coming up that maybe you want to tease or get us excited for these next few weeks?
Yeah, I think there's lots of things. I'll focus on two things that are maybe different than normal. One, there is a cheerleading clinic this Saturday before the women's basketball game. First through eighth graders are able to be a part of that. You can look at our social media, or we did send it on email for signups on that. They get to do a little clinic in the morning. They get lunch, and then they actually come over to the women's basketball game and they perform at halftime. But it's this Saturday, so that's fun. And then the annual Sweetheart Clinic is coming up. It'll be February 14th this year. That's one of those events that every year we launch the registration. It's a completely free event. And usually it fills up in just a couple hours. And so be on the lookout for that. Registration will open up probably in a week, maybe a week and a half. And you'll be able to register your little one for that. Completely free. One of the best things we do all year. An amazing event. And it fills up very quickly. So February 14th for that one. Same thing. They kind of do a clinic with all of our women's athletic teams in the indoor facility. They go around to different stations and get to experience a little bit of everything. And then they come over, have a little pizza party in the Henderson Center, and they get to stay and watch the game, the women's basketball game that day on February 14th. So two major events coming up that are maybe different than what we normally do. They only happen once a year, so I think it's important if you have a little one that's interested in the cheerleading or dance team, or have someone that's interested in the martial athletics as a whole, the Sweetheart Clinic or the cheerleading is a great option for you.
And I probably would be I'll probably get a text if I don't mention this. You've got track and field coming up. The Marshall Alumni Clash is coming up on the 10th. I don't want those guys mad at me, so I better mention that real quick.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, the alumni are coming back into town this weekend, and the second home track meet, second of three. They got one more in February there, so If you've ever been to a track meet, I encourage you to come out. It is free admission to come into the track meets, and it's a really cool experience, something different than any other event that we have, right? It's just ran differently. There's excitement everywhere. There's always something happening, and so it's a cool deal to be a part of, and it is free admission.
Ryan Crisp is with us. Always a pleasure to speak with him. He is a man of many talents and many jobs at Marshall University, but he is definitely the guy that makes it all work behind the scenes, or at least one of them. I know you probably won't take all the credit, but I'll just be quite honest with everyone. Every time I see him at a Marshall game, he's doing something different. So, Ryan, always appreciate you, and look forward to seeing you at the next Marshall game.
All right, sounds good, Paul. Appreciate the time. Go Herd.
There you have it, Ryan Crisp, and there are a lot of deals. If you want that season ticket package for the Sunbelt games, you better call Ryan's department now, or if you don't have tickets to that MAC Sunbelt Challenge against Miami, you better go ahead and get those tickets now. So I expect that game to be one that will be in a little bit higher demand, especially you could have a ranked opponent coming in. Also, as I was explaining to our very own Ben Anderson today, of course, Ben, he's one of our student workers, part-timer for us here. He's a student at Marshall University. He's filled in for me at a time. He's not that familiar with those MAC battles because he's obviously a lot younger than some of you. And we were talking about that this morning, and I explained to him, like, no, this is you want this. Marshall, Miami, this was the matchup that you always wanted to go to when Marshall was in the Mid-American Conference. Is it safe to say that maybe this one had more intensity than that Marshall-Ohio battle when Marshall was in the MAC? I'll leave that to you at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. For me, I always liked Marshall getting after Ohio, but let me quite candidly tell you, I got more joy out of it when Marshall beat Miami. As a younger student, when Marshall was in the MAC, I was higher on beating Miami, maybe higher than beating Ohio. That might be different today, but I definitely want to see this matchup. So it should be a good one, and, of course, that's going to be on February 7th. Let's get your text in. We will do that next. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. You're listening to The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Let the Car Ferry bring a little magic to your driveway at Mark Porter Auto Group. With locations in Pomeroy and Jackson, Ohio, and Ashland, Kentucky, they make it easy to get into a safe, reliable vehicle. Every used car goes through a 117-point inspection, fall into a safe, reliable vehicle, and let the Car Ferry guide you to Mark Porter Auto Group in Pomeroy, Jackson, and Ashland, or shop 24/7 at markporterautogroup.com.
Ladies, prioritizing your health starts with Marshall OBGYN. From screening exams to disease prevention to management of reproductive problems, our team offers a complete range of services for women of all ages. Thinking about growing your family? Marshall OBGYN's physicians are experienced in providing you the support you need for normal or high-risk pregnancies in a friendly, family-oriented environment. Learn more at marshallhealth.org/OBGYN.
I'm Naheem Hines, professional football player and proud supporter of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14, and I watched her struggle. but MDA helped her get the best treatments and care. And they also help kids like my buddy Ethan.
My name is Ethan. Thanks to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and people like you, I have more hope than ever before. From day one, they've treated me like family at my local care center. AMDA is the only one that funds over 150 care centers across the U.S. to help provide state-of-the-art care for adults and kids like me.
MDA has been transforming the lives of people living with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and other related neuromuscular diseases. They fund the research for breakthrough treatments, care, and cures. And MDA provides support to thousands of families like mine and Ethan's in communities like yours. Thanks to MDA, kids and adults can live life to its fullest. Join us and learn more at mda.org today.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talkline, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, Talkline back tomorrow, 10:06, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Let's go. We've got some interesting ones coming in. Texter says, Paul requests friends in low places. My reply to that is never, nope, nada, not going to do it. Friends in low places, do not like that song. This company has tried to drag me up on stage since I began working here at Dog Dazzle. It's tried to drag me, this company, the entity, the people have tried to drag me up on that stage to sing Friends in Low Places, and it's never going to happen. I'm not singing that song. I am not going to do it, and that is final. Also, Cotton Eye Joe, can't stand that song. Throw in Baby Shark. Can't stand that song either at Marshall games. So those are the three right there I don't want to be hearing. You know what? The sound guy probably is going to dial up. Next Marshall game, don't be surprised if you hear Friends in Low Places, Cotton Eye Joe, and Baby Shark. Those are going to be dialed up because, trust me, they listen, I know, and they have basically shown every time that I mention that they're going to play those songs on the scoreboard. So if you got something that you want to hear, hey, let me know. I'll pass it along to them. Texter says, thinks that this Miami game is a great game to have. Refers to them as Little Miami. Also says, I'm remembering those great Miami of Ohio teams that included Wally Zerbiak and that Elite Eight run during the MAC days. I mean, Miami was, still good, but Miami was a definite basketball school when Marshall was in the Mid-American Conference. Absolutely. You can forget that cradle of coaches stuff. For football, this was the program, not any other program in the MAC. It was not Bowling Green, not Toledo, none of that stuff. It was the basketball team. And, of course, you can't overlook the cradle of coaches, though. Forget football. I mean, football, Miami was the program for a while in football, but basketball was really where it was at, I think. But they've got a really cool, and I'll give them this, though, at Miami, they've got that really cool Cradle Coaches Plaza. There's some big names that came through Miami. But basketball for me is always where it's been at for me when it comes to Marshall and Miami. So I have fond memories. I think it's a big deal, that game. Miami's looking really good right now. I have a lot of respect for Marshall in the MAC. I have a lot of respect for Marshall still playing a lot of Mid-American Conference teams because the MAC was kind of looked down on. It's been looked down on for many years. The football got better. I want to say partly due to Marshall coming in and kind of raising the bar. That might be egotistical, but I think that's the case. As far as basketball is concerned, it was a great fit for Marshall at the time because that conference, when Marshall got the nod to get in, I believe at least that was a two-bid league maybe, or at least you could guarantee occasionally you get more than one team out of Mid-American Conference going to the national championship, the NCAA tournament. So I'm hyping this game up only because I think it's a good game to have. On the schedule, I would love to see it more, but then you run into the risk of this MAC Sun Belt Challenge. If this thing continues, you don't want to play a team again and again. You want to have a little bit of a flavor to it. So Marshall and Ohio probably never going to meet in the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. That's going to be just a matchup the two programs will schedule amongst themselves. I'm thinking Toledo as well. But wouldn't it be cool if you could get Miami on the schedule a little bit more? And I almost would like to see Marshall just not in the MAC Sunbelt Challenge just because it schedules so many MAC teams. But if you back that off a little bit, maybe you rely on the MAC Sunbelt Challenge to get some of those MAC matchups. You can maybe go in a different direction. There's so many ways you can go at this. But it's a great matchup nonetheless. And if you don't have your tickets, if you've got that Sunbelt season ticket package, you don't have this ticket, you better get those tickets now. Or, of course, if you don't have a season ticket, this is one I would call and get. I would order this ticket. If you're looking for a game, if you buy your tickets on a game-by-game basis, I would go after this one only because I would love to hear that Cam Henderson Center loud. A huge, huge crowd, a loud environment for Marshall and Miami. Back to those MAC days. We will get more of your texts coming up, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 on this edition of Your Drive, ESPN 94.1 in AM 930.
Get organized and save big money with Dakota Closets at Menards. Dakota Closets can be installed in any room, from home offices and laundry rooms to walk-in or reach-in closets. Use the You Create Closet Planner, available in-store or online, to design a Dakota closet system that maximizes your space and matches your style. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Earn more with 4 at the best community bank in the Kanawha Valley, Polka Valley Bank. Polka Valley Bank is now offering a certificate of deposit special, 10-month APY, annual percentage yield 4%. Take advantage of this great rate to grow your savings. For more information, stop by one of the 8 Polka Valley Bank locations today. Polka Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
Certain terms and conditions apply. Rates based on minimum annual percentage yield, subject to change without notice. Minimum deposit required of $10,000 of new money not currently on deposit with Polka Valley Bank to receive APY. Member FDIC.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Larry's Body Shop in Gallipolis, your place for quality body work and new tires. Visit larrysbodyshop.com. Ichabod Chinese and Japanese Restaurant. Enjoy a delicious experience in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Mark Porter Ford in Jackson, Ohio. Home of the Car Ferry, online at markporterautogroup.com.
Kindred Digital and the Marshall Health Orthopedics High School Sports Network proudly present live high school basketball, presented by the Marshall Sports Medicine Institute. This Tuesday night, watch live HD video of the Huntington Highlanders as they host Parkersburg South. Watch live on the station's Facebook page or website, or on the Cabell County Schools Facebook page. The Huntington Highlanders versus Parkersburg South, Tuesday night, only from Kindred Digital Sports.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Our final segment for today's edition of The Drive, with plenty of time for you. Our text line is open. Brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. From our text line, texter says, Paul, can't wait to go see the Lady Herd play tomorrow. Both basketball teams are playing very well. Also, I hate Miami, but love the rivalry. Hopefully, we can beat them again. P.S. Maybe play Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. I know my daughter would like that one. All right. That's actually not a bad choice. That's a sing-along song. You could do with that. Okay, I will submit that. Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. That's got to get on the playlist somehow. I wonder, is there any other sing-along songs that would probably be good that maybe, again, I don't know if Coach Fulks and her squad, her staff, maybe are thinking of things like this the way we do, but I would submit that. It's got to be something that everybody can sing along to, though. That's got to be the criteria. So it's got to be very lyrical. It's got to be well-known or known well enough that people can latch on to it and sing along to the song. And it's got to be way better than Friends in Low Places. So, again, the bar is set very low, if Friends in Low Places being the almost absolute low here. It's got to be, oh, hey, I love this one. I love this one. And there's a reason why I love this one that came in the text line. I'm a big fan of Sugar Hill Gang. Of course, you know, we're going back to my days here. And Sugar Hill Gang has a song that It's not played enough at the Henderson Center. And the texter says, Paul, Apache, jump on it, jump on it, jump on it. So now I'm going to have to make a post. And if you know the deal on social media, you're in on it. If you're not in on it, I have this running, I don't want to call it a joke. It's a running thing we do with former morning show host on 93.7 The Dog, Rocky. Remember Rocky from 93.7 The Dog? If you do, you maybe follow her on social media. She's big into the herd, obviously. Dr. Ricard's daughter, Raquel Ricard, Rocky. And she's also involved, since she lives in Cincinnati now, she's part of the Marshall Cincinnati alumni group, but she also has ties to Xavier. So every time she's at the Xavier game, and when they play that song, when they play Jump On It, she'll send me a tweet. Hey, she heard that song at what time? And so when I hear that song, I will play that right back at her and put it on social media. The scoreboard sound guy has let me down this season. I have not heard, unless I've missed it, I have not heard Sugar Hill Gang's Apache. There has not been a jump on it, jump on it, jump on it moment at the Henderson Center. So yes, that is a song we need to hear on the scoreboard, maybe at the women's game. Maybe not tomorrow. They got to film that in advance. If you heard Ryan Crisp earlier for the sing-along, the Herd Okie. But that would be definitely add to the playlist. Maybe we could put that on our playlist. I don't know. That would be cheating, though. I like the suggestion. Thank you for that. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And again, if we're going to go down this rabbit hole, this thread, it's got to be singable. I mean, there's a lot of things that I would like to hear. But at the same time, I understand it's got to be a little bit of a younger slant. Just maybe, just a little bit. So all of my 80s sing-along songs might not cut it. Maybe it would, though. Maybe there's some suggestions there. Maybe I can make. Okay, since you didn't ask, I will go that route. How about Don't Stop Believing? I don't know. I mean, that's sing-alongable. That's a word I just made, sing-alongable. Journey's Don't Stop Believing. You could sing that. That could be sing-alongable. Of course, everybody sings Living on a Prayer. That's doable. What about Michael Jackson's Billie Jean? You could do that as well. Or if they haven't done it already, just because it's Cyndi Lauper and she hasn't made a bad record yet, girls just want to have fun. How about Aha, Take On Me? I'm just pulling up off the top of my head some 80s sing-along songs we could go. I don't know. How about with Eye of the Tiger? I don't know. I don't know if I do Eye of the Tiger. Survivor, always good to hear, but I don't know if I'm going down that route. Maybe Simple Minds. They had a great one. Don't You Forget About Me. That's a singable song. Tears for Fears. Remember them? Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I want to hear Aha, Take On Me. I want to hear that at a Marshall game. Everybody's singing along that one. Here's a good one. Texter writes in and says, would you rather see the 1997 or 1998 Herd football team in today's college football playoffs? 97 or 98? Okay, I can see why we're going 97. I can see that. I mean, that team was pretty special. 97. What about 99? Do we throw 99 out there as the team? I'm gonna say 97. If you're limiting me, I mean, both are good, but I'm just gonna say 97. I'm gonna counter that. I want to see 99. I think that team would have been a better choice. I mean, you still got your Chad, right? I mean, that team ended up number 10 in the rankings. You got your Chad. It went undefeated. It beat Clemson, and it beat all opponents, and it won that game against BYU at the Motor City Bowl. The Western Michigan game was close. Most of those games weren't close, though. For the most part, most of those games were done. I remember that Buffalo game being a blowout, that Northern Illinois game being pretty much a rout as well. So I'm going to counter that. If you go 98, the only loss for that 98 team was Bowling Green. And that's the team that did beat Louisville. So maybe 98 has a shot here. With 97, though, 97, that team lost to Ole Miss. It lost its opener against WVU, the opener on the road, which was a tremendous game. That was a team that lost to Miami of Ohio at Yager Stadium. and then went on to win the MAC. And so if I got to pick, all right, I'll probably maybe I would take 98. I'm gonna change that. Now that I've thought about this. I mean, Doug Chapman was on that team. How do you go wrong with Doug Chapman? Chad, you get Chad, but you get Doug Chapman on that team. Now, I know I'm overlooking that Randy Moss guy. Maybe at this point, that 97 team would, with Randy and Chad, maybe do some damage, but I'm not afraid to give that ball to Doug Chapman all day long if this is going to be a team that we're going to select to go into today's college playoffs. I like that text. Thank you for that. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So I had to think that out in real time, but I want to take 98 only because as much as I love Randy, I think that 97 team wasn't the best. I think 98 probably was a better team. 97, though, had the big weapon with Randy Moss. And then that 99 squad. If I got to choose between the three, I'm taking 99. If you're making me pick between 97 and 98, I'm taking 98. But again, there's Randy Moss. Get him open, and you don't know what's going to happen. He could keep you in any game. Not too many people could keep up with him, especially back in that day. So I'm a little torn on that, but I'm going to hold with 98. Between 97 and 98, I'll take 98 as my would you rather on that one. But I'm going to say, again, I want to fire up 99. 1999, I'm firing up. I'm bringing in. I don't know, 1996 was pretty good as well. I don't think too many teams today at the FCS level could have beaten that team. Not 96. 97, yeah, 96. But again, how do you go against Randy Moss in any argument? I don't think there's really an argument to be made to go against Randy Moss. But I will take 98. Only because I think it was a better team, and Pennington's there, but boy, Doug Chapman. Let's not forget, any team with Doug Chapman on it, we're not going to argue against. Just give Doug Chapman the ball. It goes far. It was like giving the ball to Chris Parker. You give Chris Parker the ball, boom, he's gone. Off he goes. Now, if you would have asked me about 92, wow, which is better, 92 or 96? I'm going to say 90. Wow, that's no. 92, 96. Which one's better? 92 was really good. Troy Brown, after all. And again, that's a guy that finished his career at Marshall University and went on to be a tremendous NFL player. I mean, he's Troy Brown. But you can't argue too much against having a team with Chad Pennington and Randy Moss. Pennington to Moss, that was a thing. But 98's looking at me there with Doug Chapman. Chapman's like, give me the ball. I think that's going to do it for this edition. We are out of time. We will be back with you tomorrow. Marshall basketball as well. Have a great night, everyone.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.